Welcome back to the channel. My name's Henry, and today we're going to be talking about why Bournemouth could potentially be moving to a new formation. Now, of course, we currently play with the 4-2-3-1, as we've done this season and last season as well. But could we potentially move to two up top in a 4-4-2, or even a hybrid of the two formations? But first, if you could just subscribe, that would massively help me out. It's of course a very new channel, so just hit that button down below. It would massively help me out. Now let's get into the video. Now, of course, we play with the 4-2-3-1, Dominic Solanke up top, Cliver in the 10, Ryan Christie and Lewis Cook as the double pivot. And this has been Andoni Iraola's preference for pretty much his whole career. Over in Spain, he played with one striker up top, and he's doing it now over in England. And actually, when Eddie Howe left Bournemouth, where of course he played with King and Wilson up top for most of it, in the Premier League at least, he went over to Spain and he met Andoni Iraola and he learnt from Diogo Simeone, who both play with one striker up top, and he's changed that. He's gone to Newcastle, and despite having two very good strikers, Callum Wilson and Alexander Isak, he plays with Wilson when he's fit up top, and Alexander Isak when he's fit on the left wing. So you can see that he's influenced other managers with his philosophy there. But let's talk about it. Why this formation helps us build up from the back. And you can see this really in the first phase, where we move very quickly, we beat the press, and we get a very direct attack. And you can see here, Ryan Christie has the ball against Crystal Palace. And he has lots of options because he's playing as a DM rather than a central midfielder. Got all this space in his own half, and he's got options to play it off to wingers or even a long ball up there. And he's also got this lots of space to run into. And Christie's the example here, but this happens with Lewis Cook as well, almost every game. So he runs into this space, and then he has the long ball option here. And this is critical. Bournemouth's long balls and Bournemouth's direct passes and attacks are pivotal to their success. You can see Christie hit a long ball to Semenyo against Luton, which led to Semenyo scoring. That was his first goal, where he cuts in and then buries it bottom right corner. But it's not just Christie, Lewis Cook as well. You see against Burnley, he booted the ball long for Solanke. Actually, no, Solanke plays it back to him. Lewis Cook boots it long, and it gets to Cliver in behind the defence, and Cliver obviously finishes it delightfully. And you can see it here. Christie, he's got that option of long ball, and he hits it. And I think that's Solanke or it's Cliver. I'm not really sure. They look quite similar. But look, that's a great pass. That player's in lots of space. Doesn't lead to a goal, of course. But you can see here how we can beat the press firstly with these double pivot, but also hit those great long passes. But there's of course problems with this formation, otherwise I wouldn't be making this video. And the biggest one, I think, is Solanke gets isolated a lot. And I think last season this was the problem more than it is this season, because Solanke, he only scored 6 goals. And if you speak to any Bournemouth fan, you'll know that we will defend him with our hearts. Last season we still defended him, even though he scored less than he should have, really, because he doesn't get support. The ball comes up to him and he doesn't really have anyone to lay it off to, and that's completely changed this season. I think Iraola's given him that support. That's why Solanke scored 15 goals in the league now, I think. But that was a problem last season, and it still exists in some games, a problem with this formation. I think when we went on that bad run in January and February, it was because Solanke was not getting involved in the game, and that really affects us. And you can see Solanke last season was dispossessed. He was in the bottom 18%, or in other words, he got dispossessed a lot. So he's in the top 18% for amount of times dispossessed. And this is because the long balls always come into him and he's got nothing to do, and he becomes a little bit of a scapegoat for that. People saying he has a bad touch and all of that. No, he just doesn't have the support. And you can see here, this is not Solanke's problem, because you can see carries into the penalty area, top 23%. He does a lot with that ball. He just also loses it a lot because he has the ball so much. Everything we funneled into Solanke last season, and he lost the ball because of it, because he doesn't have the support. So let's talk about it. What's the alternative? Well, the alternative is the 4-4-2. I think 2 up top could really solve a lot of our problems this season. And of course, the second person in that 2 is going to be Unal, who I think can play a really crucial role in this formation working. Now, he came on against Sheffield United for a decent portion of the second half, and it worked. Unal obviously got his goal, that was from a corner. You can still see how that double threat is created by having 2 up top. But the biggest change he made in the game was against Luton. Coming on at half-time, he was a massive impact. And we can see it tactically. We can see that he drags defenders. Here, Carlton Morris, he's been dragged to the side by Enes Unal, and it gives Solanke a lot of space. Solanke there, he scores his first goal because Solanke spins these two defenders that are next to him. But if Unal isn't there, Morris is there to dispossess him. But no, Unal creates that space for Solanke to run into. And I think not just for this goal, but for all of our build-up play, really, Unal and Solanke having two strikers creates space for the both of them. But importantly, it creates space for Solanke because he is that lethal striker. I don't think we've seen that from Unal yet. But in Spain, he scored a lot of goals. You can see it again here, double threat. Got Unal running into the middle. Obviously, Semenyo's got a ball up here if you can't see it. Unal's running into the box there. You've got Solanke running around the back post as well. And I think two strikers there really benefits us. And I think a lot of us want to see that heading into the future. I think that Alex Scott is the other crucial element of this. I think that he performs best as an 8. And that's what Iraola said in an interview with the Daily Echo recently. He said he thinks Scott is an 8. And that's a problem because we don't really play with an 8 in this formation. He's played as 10 a few times, but I don't think it really works. I think he doesn't have that great creativity and vision to see those passes. And as a number 6 or a double pivot when he's playing there, he's going to find it hard to displace Ryan Christie or Lewis Cook in that role. They've got those nailed down. But a number 8, a box-to-box midfielder, which he'll be able to play as in a 4-4-2, really allows us to unleash him and the star boy within him. I think his best trait is dribbling. He's magnificent. It's like watching Lionel Messi or Jack Grealish on the ball with those low socks. It's great to watch. And you play him as a centre mid, he can do that. He can make those progressive carries and take us in a transitional attack. So I think that moving to the 4-4-2 not only will make our attack a lot better, it will also allow us to utilise Alex Scott. The only problem, I think, is depth. We're going to be playing 2 strikers. We only have 2 strikers. Keith Moore's out on loan. He's rubbish anyway. We've only got 2 decent strikers. So if we're playing them both, 75 plus minutes every game, we're going to run into problems there. The other thing is, we've got Philip Billing, Justin Kluivert, and Roman Favre. Favre? How do you say it? Let me know in the comments. All players number 10, really. And there is no number 10 in this formation. So where are they going to go? Is that going to suit us? We're going to have players rotting on the bench. Are we also going to have players getting tired from playing way too many minutes? That could potentially be the problem. And the solution to that is a hybrid of the 2 formations. I guess it would be more similar to the 4-2-3-1. But the crucial element is that number 10 is no longer a number 10. They're going to be moving a lot more advanced into what I like to call the Julian Alvarez position. It's been spoken about in The Athletic, other websites like that, about this 8.5 position that Alvarez has really made his own, where you're not a striker, but you're playing behind the striker, and it can really help the team out. And I think this is perfect for Enes Unal, firstly, because I think not only Enes Unal, actually, Solanke as well, he likes to drop deep, so you can put him there. If not, keep Solanke as that striker, which is what I'd probably do. Be like Enes Unal, come in there. And in this way, you also have a lot more options off the bench, and there's a lot more room to wiggle around because you can play Justin Kluivert there, who I think would transition perfectly from a number 10 into this second striker role, sort of. But Antoine Semenyo as well, I could definitely see him playing there. I think that this hybrid formation with, it's essentially 2 strikers, but one of them's behind the other, and have a little bit of a free roam role, I think that could really work. But let me know your guys' thoughts. Comment down below, what should we go for? The 4-2-3-1 move to a 4-4-2 or a hybrid? Next game, I've seen a lot of you. There was a poll on Twitter, about 400 people voted. 80% of you wanted 2 up top against Everton, which I think could really work. So do you guys want that? Do you want a 4-2 up top against Everton? Do you think Iraola will do that? Because that's my biggest concern. I don't think he will. Managers don't tend to stray from their philosophy, especially ones that are so philosophical, like Antonio Iraola. So, comment down below. What do you want, and what do you think Iraola is going to do? And before you go, if you could, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Up the cherries.